Okay, welcome back to One Academy channel. This is question 36 of the 2022 PSLE science paper. It says that Kumar set up the apparatus. Apparatus means the experimental setup. As shown, A, B, and CD are identical iron rods and are fixed in place. That means they are secure there. PQ is an iron hammer. So I want to annotate this part. Okay, PQ is an iron bar. So where is PQ? PQ is this bar here. So you can annotate it by making this color coding. With a hammer at one end and rest on the fixed metal rail. Okay, fixed metal rail. So this is the fixed metal rail. So this one rests here. So when he closes the switch, so where is the switch? The switch is here. The hammer struck the bell repeatedly and give a continuous ting, ting, ting sound. Okay, underline the word. Explain how the sound was produced. So visually, what you can do is you take your pen or marker or whatever, you do a visualization. So you close this circuit. Okay, you notice this is two batteries in series. So the current will flow through here. So you follow the current. Okay, this is a fixed metal rail. Can metal conduct electricity? Yes. So go up. Okay, you just follow the path. So this is a spring, right? And the spring here, does it conduct electricity? Did they say what type of spring? Okay, they did not say. So we assume that it's a metal spring. So the electricity will flow through here and go through here. And it will zigzag all the way here. And then go through here. And then zigzag all the way down. And then follow here. And comes back. So you do this visualization route. So it forms a closed circuit. Okay, so when you have done this, look at what will happen. Okay, next stage. Change color. Okay, as we have studied, if electricity flows through iron coil, right, you will turn them into temporary electromagnets. So the magnetic force will attract this fixed metal rail, which I have already asked you to highlight, is an iron bar. So is iron magnetic? Yes. Is cobalt magnetic? Yes. Cobalt. Yeah. There are four magnetic materials. SINC, short form. S, Singapore. I, iron. N, new or not. C, clean. Singapore is not clean, or Singapore is new nation or new country. Okay, SINC. Yeah. So this will be attracted upwards. So you can draw this bar being pushed upward because it's connected to the hammer, right? So the hammer will move upwards. Okay, so this, you heard a ting, but it says ting, ting, ting. There's an intermittent off. So because when it moves up, you notice this part, right? This portion here, it will form a very short interval, an open circuit. So once open circuit, everything demagnetized. Oh, everything demagnetized. So become this spring here will push it down. Okay, this can be visualized better with a YouTube video, which I'm going to show you shortly. So I pause the recording. Okay, let me resume the video for you to appreciate the electromagnet.
Electric bell. Magnet is used in an electric bell. An electric bell has an iron hammer, structures of metal around which the wire is wound. When we press the button of an electric bell, the current begins to flow through the electric wire, turning metal structures into temporary magnets. The magnet attracts the iron hammer. The hammer strikes the metal bell to produce a sound. At this stage, the connection between the screw and the hammer is broken and the electric current stops. The magnetism of the coil is lost and the hammer goes back to its original position. The electrical circuit is completed by joining of the screw and the hammer, and the bell rings. The process is repeated and the bell rings intermittently.
So look at this part. So this part is being magnetized. So you attract the iron bar, as you can see.
And the bell rings.
So as it moves forward, this part is temporarily disconnected. So the current stops. So you demagnetize, the spring will spring back.
The process is repeated and the bell rings intermittently. Electric bell.
So this is how the electric bell works. So I hope that this video actually can help you answer this question well. It explained how the sound was produced. So you just mentioned that when the switch is closed, right, electricity will flow through the circuit, okay, causing this bar A and B, A, B, and C, D to become a electromagnet, attracting the iron, okay, attracting the iron, this part, attracting PQ, the iron bar, upwards, causing the hammer to strike the bell. So when that happened, right, this point, is it this point? The end of the fixed metal rail, right, will form a open circuit. Current will stop flowing. Demagnetize will spring back, and this happens repeatedly. Okay, so you answer this part by yourself. It's actually too much. You just describe the whole process. Okay, you try to answer this. I will pause for a while. Okay, as I mentioned, for part A, you just mentioned that as the switch is closed, electricity will flow through the circuit, turning the iron rods A, B, and C, D into electromagnet, attracting the iron bar PQ upwards, causing the hammer to strike the bell. When this happens, an open circuit will be formed at the fixed metal nail end, causing the electromagnet to demagnetize. And this process repeats. Okay, now, part B, Kuma replaced the spring with a, okay, originally they used the word stronger. I asked my student to change the word to stiffer. So this part, this spring, change to a stiffer spring. So when he closed the switch, the hammer also hit the bell repeatedly. But they ask you to state one effect of the sound produced. So sound can be either louder or softer. So in this case, if you examine carefully, because if the spring is stiffer, right, it means that it's more difficult to push upward, isn't it? That's mean this part, if this is stiffer, right, because you need more force to push up, but the force is the same, it's still same magnet. So that's mean when it go up, the magnetic force attract it upwards, but it will hit the bell with a softer force. Why softer force? Because there is a stronger opposing force. Okay, because you're learning effect of forces, interaction of forces. Because the spring is stiffer. Stiffer means more difficult to compress. Because I didn't increase the number of batteries, I didn't increase the number of coil. So the magnetic force is still the same. Okay? The magnetic force pulling this upward is still the same. But because now with a greater opposing force, right? Greater opposing force, it means this hammer will hit it with a softer punch or a softer knock. So for this question, part B, right, you say a softer sound will be produced. Softer sound would be produced. Okay, then you need to explain. As the spring is stiffer, there is greater opposing force. opposing force to the magnetic attraction. Magnetic force attracting this part, PQ upwards. Okay. So stiffer spring will produce a greater opposing force to the magnetic force, magnetic MAG string. Okay. Thus, the hammer will strike the bell with smaller force. Okay, this one. Okay. So a softer sound will be produced as the spring is stiffer. As the spring is stiffer, there is greater opposing force to the magnetic force attracting PQ upwards. Thus, the hammer will strike the bell with a smaller force. Okay, next one, part C, state the effect on the sound produced if the fixed metal nail is replaced with a wooden rod. So notice this part is very essential. They say if the fixed metal rail, this part, is replaced with a wooden what? Wooden rod. And what will happen? So as long as this is wooden, the electricity cannot flow through because wood is an insulator of electricity. So you should say, because they ask you two things, you have to state the effect and then explain. So you say there will be no sound produced. Okay? There will be no sound produced. There will be no sound produced. Why? Wood is an insulator of electricity. Therefore, no electric current will flow through the circuit. Okay, this one more. There will be no sound produced as wood is an insulator of electricity. Because you need to explain why. If you just put there's no sound produced, you won't get a mark. Maybe you only get half mark. But okay, actually here you will get half mark because they separate two. First is state because you stated correctly. And then but you didn't explain. So you must state and explain. So in this question, your mark is half plus half. So the explanation part is wood is an insulator of electricity. Therefore, no electric current will flow through the circuit. So what I've gone through is actually these questions, 36 in the 2022 PSLE science questions. You can also visit my YouTube channel to look at similar questions on electrical circuit. Okay, bear in mind electrical circuit is actually a P5 science topic. So for those students who did not do well in P5, what do I mean by do not do well? If your P5 SA2, if you score less than 77 marks, 77, it means that your foundation is not very strong. So you may need to revisit the topic you learned in P4 as well as P5. So not to worry for those students in P6 this year, you can come to Mr. Howard Youth Training in One Academy, Asia, for more experiential science education as we help students to excel in their learning in our SEAL training, scientific, experiential, awesome learning. So I wish you all the best. We are taking a short break now. So see you later. Bye.